Oh, don't sneak up on me like that. Slake morning. And I was thinking, Seema said something about there are folks that wake up when they hit 33. Yep, that's what happened, pretty much. I went, oh, this ain't right. Better fix that. Yep. And so that was a process. Word for the wise. Don't be too desperate to be in a relationship. Don't be too desperate to have friends. Ain't you ever heard of the law of attraction? If you desperate to be in a relationship or have a friendship, guess what you're gonna get? Turn that light around. Imagine, feel, think in a slightly better way. Just for a moment. Some people don't like meditating. That's okay. And all you really have to do is just take 5 seconds to imagine what it would feel like to have a friend that really feels good to be around. And keep it up. You be alright. Unless, of course, you stay in that desperation mood. Now, with that, either you ain't gonna get nothing, or you might get somebody you don't want to be around. But you'll find out later. When their tricks, come out into the light. You know why misery loves company? So they can drag you behind them with barbed wire, gilded, and shame and guilt. So when they turn around to look at you, whenever they finally do, not because they want to give you some of that conditional love, but so that they can feel better about themselves by looking down on you and saying, I'm so glad I'm not you. Somebody said, how do you tell if you're with a nice person or not, a good person? Do they want to see you happy? Do they act like it? If not, what are you doing with them? We all deserve the best, but free will is a choice. So that means you got to be the one to think about it and work on it. Is it nice hanging out with this person? Are they just mean to me all the time? If so, close that door if you want. Some people say, well, if I don't hang out with them, nobody will hang out with me because I'm not worth hanging out with. Did they teach you to feel that way? Or was that something that you've carried throughout your life because somebody else taught you to feel that way? If so, and you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, you're on the right track. And you'll be alright. Yep. Hey, look, you look upon somebody and they look like they're doing really awesome and they feel like it, feel sturdy, feel strong, steady, easy going. It don't mean they ain't been through some stuff. But if they have, you might want to listen to them. But if they start treating you bad, you might want to get out of there as soon as possible. What do I do if I live with somebody that treats me bad? Well, I'll tell you a little something. You probably ain't gonna like it. But trust me, it's a good thing. It's called being grateful that you noticed. Oh no, I'm living with somebody that I'm not really. I'm not. But some people are. Living with somebody that treats them not so nice and wants to drag them around with shame and guilt. And they be saying things like, I don't know why you're like this. Well, you see, folks like that, they have a well of emotional energy that they have not taken a look at. They haven't dared to. It's the people that you feel like you gotta walk on eggshells around, because otherwise they'll explode. You know how some people stuff their feelings down and bottle them up? Don't do that. Now just imagine what it's got to be like to be doing that your whole life, and you stuck in that, and you're 60 years old. Why do people get sick again? Some people got, chronic things going on. That's kind of a different sort of thing. I mean, like people just be in a bad attitude all the time for decades, and all of a sudden, well, sometimes something's got to give. And if they won't, well, then something in them's going to give. And then maybe they'll be able to let go of some of that stuff. I say that's why appreciation and gratitude is so important. Because if you don't practice gratitude, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, then what will you do when you get the thing you want? You won't know how to appreciate it because you ain't practiced. I got what I wanted, but I don't want it anymore. Time to look for another one. Got what I wanted, but I don't want it anymore. Time to look for another one. Time to look for another one. What's the definition of insanity again? There are people that will hear the words coming out of my mouth and they project. And they want to think that I'm nuts. Now, what do you think that means? That's spooky. It means they way out in the wilderness. But free will is a choice. And if you will not accept a helping hand from somebody who will not tell you that you are wrong, but just kind of point you in the right direction. Hey, look, the grass is nice over there. If you won't accept that helping hand, you're going to have to find out by your own. There's some people that got those emotional stores of energy that they had never dared to look at because nobody taught them what to do with it. Just waiting to burst. So they're always picking at you, picking at you, picking at you. Really what they're doing, they're writhing against the reflection of their own insecurity. Because they see you. They see how radiant you are, how free you are, and it reminds them how closed in and tight they feel. The people that try to poke at you and poke at you and poke at you until you burst, and then they take that as a signal for them to let loose of their dam, and then they blame you for them bursting. But they just so way out in the wilderness, they didn't even know what they were really asking for was somebody to hear them. So they took it a little too far. And instead of actually talking about what's actually bothering them on the inside, they just spewed it all over you. Like some champagne popping. That's why poised restraint of emotion is a golden chalice. Not oppression. Not oppression or suppression of emotion. Just taking care that you don't over-emote. So that way people are more receptive, less defensive. As you reach a certain loudness at somebody, they don't want to hear it. And they will do anything they can to scrub the ringing of your voice out of their head. Because they felt like you weren't going to listen anyway. Like a foghorn or something. Did you know if you wire a speaker in a different way or something like that, you wire a speaker differently, you can use it as a microphone? You can think of it almost something like that. Give and take. But if all you're going to do is blare, ain't nothing anybody can say or do that's going to help you. Oh yeah. So, somebody poking at you, shame and guilt. Most of the time, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They way out there in the woods, in the dark. Those people, you gotta be gentle with them because they don't know they're not cooking. They're staring at a pot on the stove, waiting for it to start boiling. But there ain't no water in that pot, and the stove ain't on. You try to say, hey, what's going on with you? Shut up, I'm cooking. You try to put water in their pot for them, you're gonna mess it up. It's like that. If somebody will not accept your helping hand, they must learn by their own. Yep. Because if you stick around continuing to try to help them out when they won't accept it, they won't just tear themselves apart. They'll start trying to tear you apart because they don't want to look at themselves. Somewhere along the way, somebody taught them that they were ugly inside. And some of these people just draw the net in closer on themselves. That is why self-pity is one of the most self-destructive behaviors. The only reason people hate themselves, most of the time, is because they're comparing themselves to somebody else. Why? There's only one of you. So to compare yourself to somebody else is a fallacy. But you can glean from somebody. You can soak in the radiance of someone and learn how they feel, how they operate. But if you're just going to compare yourself and wallow in self-pity or, other vicious thoughts, that's a snake eating its own tail. It's a little bit of what you... Excuse me. It's a little bit of what you call that it ain't got to be that hard. Making it harder on yourself. Self-pity is a catch-22. Don't touch it. It's a trap somebody set for you. And you deserve better than that. The exact same thing with people that call themselves stupid. I'm such an idiot. Somebody wanted you to feel that way. There are better ways you could bless them, besides just, you understand what I'm saying? Well, if you got any questions, comments below. I'm sorry, did you say something? Speak up, Sonny. I can't hear you. Well, anyway. Those folks, they be poking at you and poking at you and poking at you, trying to dig into your shame and guilt, almost as though it was their little treasure box. No. See, let me tell you something. Your shame and guilt, that's your treasure box. And you can turn it into light, beloved. Beloved, luminous one. These people be picking at your shame and guilt to keep you down, to belittle you, so that they can feel tall, because they see that what they said to you made you feel small. 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 You deserve better than that. But free will is a choice. Be tall. Be at your full stature. Now. Not tomorrow. Not when the weather clears up. Not after the coffee finishes pouring. Be at your full stature. Now. Well, how do you do that? They poke at your shame and your guilt. Just remember, they are digging into their own. It's kind of like, excuse my southern English. It's kind of like watching somebody digging into their ass while they're staring at you. It's a grotesque sight. But just remember, they're only doing it to themselves. Because what they really want, what they really want is for you to squirm. That's what they want. They want you to squirm. Really, they acting like a child that never had a good example. Sometimes you have to be the good example. And you remain firm, steady. Remember to breathe. I'll tell you a trick in a nicer way than how it was told to me. So, you ever feel like you about to start crying? But see, look, them people, they will say anything they can think of to get you twisted up inside. Now, if it's somebody you know in your heart loves you, don't fool yourself. If you know they love you, they do. But there is some unhealed part in them that they have not radiated love to. You gotta be gentle with people like that, because they don't know they're not cooking. But let's turn that light around. Some of them, they don't know how hot they got that pan turned up, and everything they try to put in it burned to a crisp, like that. Gotta be gentle with them too, because otherwise, if you try to blast back at them because they were blasting at you, they will end up with so much stuff in that red hot pan, it's gonna choke you all out. Poised restraint of emotion, the golden chalice. But I say, do not act on impulse in those moments, because they're waiting for a pulse so that they can pulse, right? I say, remain how you were before they entered the room or before they even opened their mouth. Just hold on to that. remain steadfast, darling. Because the point is not whatever they're pointing out in you. The point is they're afraid to look at that within themselves. Oh, and you could try to help them out with it. But at that point, they're going to say, "Shut up, I'm trying to cook." Some people don't want that helping hand, so they have to learn by their own. So when you stop giving them what they think they're asking for, or whatever it is, and you stop reacting on that impulse to blast back at them with your own insecurity, slowly, maybe across a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, maybe after you leave the damn place, once you stop blasting back at them for the insecurity they are gushing across your visage, slowly, they'll start to feel it whether or not they want to. Because now, they're not gushing it out everywhere. So now they have to feel it. Because their one outlet to release the pressure in that dam has said, "No. I am not a tool for you. I am a person," or whatever we are. You know what I say? I'm a something. There's something there. Same thing, like when I look at a person, I don't think, that's a man. That's a woman. Nope, I don't think that at all. Those are human concepts, by the way. You conceptualize your reality too much, you won't see real life. Did somebody say The Matrix? You conceptualize your reality too much, you will label everything. That's a door, that's a chair, that's a table. At that point, exactly like with all these people that are obsessed with gender. You're not a man, you're a woman. You're not a woman, speak up to. Are you a guy or a girl? Why do you want to know? You want to go on a date? Is that a guy or a girl? Why don't you go up and ask them? You ain't gonna like what they have to tell you. I totally forgot where I was going with all that. But yeah, you say that to somebody, why don't you go up and ask them? You won't like what they'll tell you. And they go up to ask anyway. It's called get what you give, motherfucker. If you know you wasn't gonna like it, why would you do it? Get what you give, motherfucker. If you knew you wasn't gonna like it, why would you do it? Maybe they hadn't practiced gratitude. Because you can tell when you haven't practiced gratitude enough, because you're always looking for something else. Oh yeah. So you get too lost conceptualizing everything, and you don't pay attention just to the pure radiance shining forth from within all things. At that point, you were just staring through a dirty window, and you can't see the full radiance of life. That's why all those people obsessed with what a man and what a woman is, they kind of seem insane. Because they done got caught in a feedback loop. You want to know some other feedback loops? Judgment, condemnation, criticism, resentment, envy, jealousy, lies, deceit, gossip, and worst of all, self-pity. Did I say hatred? Yeah, that's a bad one too. It's basically like the sibling to self-pity. What you condemn in another, you got something like that going on in you. It's called get what you give, motherfucker. And those that think they don't get. It's the lucky ones that are paying attention when they finally see that they've been slapping themselves the whole time. It ain't got to be that hard. But they'll never know they were slapping themselves if you keep blasting their bullshit right back at them. Let go of the rubber band. Snap! Because you deserve better than that.